Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. Tim, how you doing, man?
Doing great.
Good. Tim, we were just talking about this, and I wanted to bring this online. There was a business owner, owns a large company, reached out to us and wanted some help with the business. The business had to do some leadership issues and some infrastructure. And one of the things that we always ask for is to see some due diligence, some documentation, and other things going on in his business. Now, he was really inspired after our talk and our conversation, and he was supposed to get me all this documentation 7 days ago. And I heard, no problem. It's not a problem. I'm going to do this. Now, I've since followed up with him during that talk and come to find out, something happened. And then we start going into it. So where it comes to business consulting, you and I and the rest of the team are a little different because of our backgrounds in coaching. So we're able to dig a little deeper and see what's really going on and what's really running the show, as we say. And it turns out he was just embarrassed. He was embarrassed by his financial numbers, his lack of systems, his operations, and a huge amount of guilt overcame him. And he decided, really, kind of, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to stall because what are these guys who I look up to? What are they going to think of me? Right? They're going to realize that I'm not as good of a businessman as everybody sees. Now, his business is extremely profitable when you look at gross profit, right? Extremely. And it's got a large trend. He's done a great job. However, in his mind, he was so worried to take action, so worried to share because of guilt and shame, really. Shame for the things that have happened within his business that he didn't take action. And we see this a lot, Tim, with the men that we talk to or just men in general. You and I have had the ability of doing this for a long time, is shame starts to take over them, right? And then they become the barrier to their own success, right? Their shame becomes the barrier to allowing them to step into their greatness. They're worried that because their relationship isn't working, because their health isn't working, right? They haven't taken care of themselves, because there's flaws in their business. By the way, guys, every business has a lot of flaws, but because there's flaws in their business, there's something wrong with them. And that shame stops them from taking the action to correct that issue and move forward and elevate.
So true. So in this situation then, what did you suggest that he do? He did, rather.
Well, what we did is we talked about actually just taking action, right? The first step to getting over the shame is going through the barrier, right? So shame or guilt, you want to identify it. We went through a long coaching session, but we don't have time to go through all of those details here. But for the purpose of this conversation, the first thing to do is recognizing that it's shame or guilt that's running the show for you. When I say running the show, what I mean is that's what's controlling your actions, right? Or lack thereof. And the next thing to do is take immediate action. Now, it could be small action, Tim. It could be something as simple as, hey, I'm going to fire you an email, or I'm going to CC you on an email to my financial advisor, or whatever it was. In this case, it would have been bookkeeper. And that's a one step to move the ball forward. And oftentimes what we see, whether it's guys trying to join the activation method, for example, right? Because you're on the calls with these guys. The first thing for them to do is set the appointment and show up for the call, right? A lot of guys will reschedule their calls. And the reason they try to reschedule, and by the way, guys, if you reschedule more than once, your application gets thrown to the side, right? Because we know what's happening for you. The reason they reschedule is shame and guilt take over, right? What are these guys going to think? And they start to worry. The truth is, no one's judging you. Take that first action, whether it be in your business, your relationship, your health, something else in your life. Make that micro commitment and take action immediately. And you'll start to really get leverage over that shame and guilt. You get leverage over that feeling, and you'll be able to start moving the ball forward, kind of like a snowball, a small snowball rolling down the hill, right? Becomes a big snowball. We've all seen the cartoons as kids. That's really what we're trying to do here, is get that momentum going forward and really get action happening.
I love it. And I agree. There comes a point where you've just got to take the action and rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
And then you realize that the story you made up in your head, nobody actually thinks that. Nobody actually cares in that way. They do care. They care a lot for you as the man to, be the best man you can be. But nobody cares about the story. Nobody's thinking often anyway, those things. So as soon as you rip that Band-Aid off as well, and I know who you're talking about here, it's liberation, right? It's freedom. It's a great place to then be able to experience and live from. It's kind of like getting the skeletons out of the closet, right? You know, so many of the guys that come to us have a closet full of skeletons from all of the things they're hiding and pushing down, whether it's from the wife or the staff or the kids or even themselves. And there's no way that you can live a truly abundant, fulfilled life where you are deeply intimate and connected to your wife or even your kids or your business with all those skeletons in the closet. And those skeletons, you've put them there. You've made them up. You know, just like you've made them up and put them there, you can quite easily just get them out.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Tim, what I told this guy was, I gave him credit, and exactly what I said. Well, a paraphrase of what I said is, look, I give you credit, man, because you had the balls to step up and raise your hand, right, and ask and say, look, I need a little help here in this area of my life. Now, this guy, we've been helping this guy in his relationship. That's completely changed. His health is in the process of changing. And he raised his hand again and said, shoot, let me look at my business. And that takes serious guts. That takes a lot of strength. And I know, and you know from doing consulting so many people, that everybody can use help, right? In all areas. Just most people are scared, right? They're scared to raise their hand and say, hey, look, things aren't perfect over here. Things aren't working. So can I get a little bit of assistance and a little bit of help in this area of my life so I can go forward and really conquer those areas? And so that takes tremendous guts, tremendous strength. And that's what this man had. And I really look out for all those guys that are willing to step out from average, is what we call it, right? They're tired of being average. Being average sucks, right? Nobody wants that. Guys, if you find yourself in that situation where you're ready to raise your hand and step up, go over to thealphareset.com where you'll find more information about how to get that help and that assistance. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's all about going away from average to greatness, and that's really what you deserve. So guys, we'll see you next time. Have an amazing day.